3D polar array. A 3D polar array is very similar to a 2D polar array, but in a 2D polar array we can only do arrays on that plane. So whatever sheet of paper we're on, that's the only plane we can do. Over a 3D polar array, we can actually array around any axis that we want. We're going to go up and use the array polar command. So we're going to go up to modify panel. We're going to hit the down arrow. We're going to go to polar array. And it said, okay, let's select this object. So we're going to select this particular object right here. And we're going to hit enter. Now, we want to specify the center point of the array. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap on that center. So my object snap is on, I got that center. And now it says okay. Let's just say we have our array ribbon bar on up here. And we have 6 of these items. And we have 4 rows. And let's say I want to go to 5 of these. I'm going to go to 5. And when I click in there, it automatically adjusts those. And so I have 5 of them spinning around, and it's going a full 360 degrees. It has how many rows, and it has how many levels. Let's go and say, alright, notice I have the associative on. That means I can come back and edit this at any time. So I'm going to close that array and say, very good. Now all I got to do is pick on one of these arrays items, and I can come back in and say, let's go to 2 levels. And I can click in between, and you can see my distance in between is a little bit high. I'll go 2.5, and I'll click over here, and you can see now, yeah, it's a little high sticking up. I got a little gap there, but we'll accept that for now, just so we can take a look at that. And you can see, oh, you know, my object is still a little too long here. This needs to be trimmed off here. You can tell, but without that we would have not noticed for a while. But we can change it any time. We just pick on this, go up to the ribbon bar. I can take my levels off. I can go down to 1 level, and let's go with 2 rows, for example. And so when I go with 2 rows, it's actually putting it out into additional spaces here. And for that, we'd have to have them just right so that the links couldn't match up. So I would just throw out a number just to see it better. See, it's still going through the hole there. And so now you can start seeing it. It's sticking out right through there. So when we have rows, we're doing multiple concentric circles. We're doing levels, we're going in the Z direction. So I'm going to go back to 1 here, and I'm going to say close the array. And so now we can see that we create these. Now anytime that I set these things to be an associative array, that allows me to come back and edit these things. And if I undo these, for example, I'll go back and undo it. I'm going to go back to when we have just 1. Alright, now I'm going to go back in here one more time, and I'm going to go into my polar array. I'm going to select the object, hit enter, and I'll select the center, pick, and I'm going to go up, say, and I'll go with 6 this time, that's fine. But notice it's associative. If I take this associative off, then it's treated as individual objects. You may want to do that at times. It's actually, if you need to edit, you got to edit them all the same type thing. If you want each one to be different in some way, you need to turn this associative off. And then it's just like having 6 of these attached down there individually. So you have to make a decision on that associative when you create the object.